Welcome to Krylon Entertainment. I'm Chris.
And I'm Bree.
And it's Morphin Monday, so let's get nasty as we talk about the Knasty Knight today.
Yeah, Knasty Knight.
Yeah, Knasty Knight. So we're going to start with our Knasty Knight. We primed him like we did with any other Power Rangers mini, usually the 2X Krylon Perfect Gray spray primer. And we're going to jump right into our Citadel Contrast Black Templar, and we're just going to go hog on this guy. And in a minute, I swear I'm going to bring it back and range the camera. But we're just going to go absolutely hog on this guy. We're going to Black Templar all over this guy. There's not much here. Yep, there I am. I'm back. There's not much to Knasty Knight. Knasty Knight wears black armor.
Yep.
There's a little bit of a hint of a blue in the little wings on his helmets. I did experiment with that a little bit off camera. Did not really get results I liked, so I just stuck with black for his armor.
Yeah.
So I could have painted this black. I could have sprayed this black.
But then you're not going to get the depth you want. You're not going to get that gradation you want.
Correct. If I painted this... Oh, Bree's going to cough here. And there it is. I'm keeping that in. So I could have spray primed this black, and I could have done like a gray dry brush. I could have painted this with the Abaddon black or any other type of black from another company, but I opted not to. I opted to go to the contrast paints. And I did that for, like you said, the gradation and the depth. I was asked about this recently, actually. I was asked why I would go from colored primer to gray to, or not colored primer, colored plastic to gray to black to do my black. Why wouldn't I just paint it black?
Yeah, just because if you spray paint something black, you're not going to get you're not going to get the depth in the crevices and all that fun stuff like you will with doing a paint. And two, you will actually lose detail. I run into that a lot because I like using black primer because I go with a lot of darker colors. And I'm lazy, but if you do a gray primer, you actually will pick up more of the highlights.
And if you're hearing that marathon in the background, our dogs have the zoomies right now, and they are tearing through the house. It's fantastic. But you can see it a little bit already as it's starting to dry. See right around the kneecap and whatnot, It gets a little lighter. Mm-hmm. This works better on smaller miniatures with more detail sculpted into them. But it's working fine on him, even though he's mostly fine, flat plate. But what it's going to do is we're going to be able to see from a distance. We're going to be able to see We're going to be able to see the darker colors down in the crevices. And as per usual, I didn't bother looking at his weapon before I started painting, so I couldn't remember what colors it was. So I just started by painting it black. I go back later after I look at a reference photo, and I fix that. But I just started by painting it black because screw it, why not?
I like it.
So anyway, while we're painting this guy black, we're going to jump into a brand new technique for the next color. It's going to be one we haven't shown on here before. I did not invent it. This is not a technique that's created by me. It's been used in the past. But it may be new for a lot of the newer or even intermediate mini painters. They probably haven't thought about what we're going to do next. And we're going to get into that momentarily. And I think it's cool. I think it's fantastic. I think you're going to like it, guys. But
I hate it already.
You hate it already?
I hate it already.
You're going to like it. You're going to like it. Do you know what I did? Did I tell you what I did? I don't remember if I told you what I did.
You probably did, and I've already forgotten.
Guys, this is well scripted. This is good stuff. So one of the things I was thinking about, now that we're going to we've talked about the color black.
And they're still looking at a lot of it.
There's still some more to go. In typical Krylon Entertainment fashion, we're just going to rant about some stuff for a couple of minutes. So let's get it out of the way right now. God, that Tommy Oliver's the worst. But beyond that, I want to keep talking about the future of the channel. And I'm sure people are tired about hearing this. We're still a very small channel. Yes. Still very new.
There are 60 some odd of them at this point.
Oh my God, I have so much content to add to this channel too. The subscriptions are low. They're probably always going to be low. Nobody wants to listen to me. They want to listen to you. Nobody wants to listen to me.
I got them sultry tones.
But, wow. So next week we'll have a new co-host on Krylon Entertainment.
We're going to give you the 6-year-old.
I'm going to find like Bob the Hobo from the side of the road with not wearing socks. Anyway, we're going to let that black dry. And you can kind of see here, look how smooth that looks. Now, there's a spot on the back I wasn't happy with. I got a little too gloppy on the lower back there. Realistically, I'm not that worried about it because that's not what your eyes are focused on. But look at that front. Look how smooth that is.
Looks good. And again, you can see all of those fabulous details. It's time for a pen. That's what I thought you used.
I did. I used a gold paint pen. It doesn't really matter the brand. Actually, the tip on this one is a little thick. But I used a gold paint pen to do the gold trim on this guy.
Yeah, Sharpie does one that actually has a very fine tip that's super fun to use. I used it actually on a couple of my D&D minis I painted.
Yep, there are craft pens you can do that have very thin tips as well. This is not one of them, but that's okay because you're going to actually see on the legs here, I missed a couple spots. Saw that on that shot right there that kind of spun around really fast?
Yeah.
I didn't get it perfect. That's okay. Actually, this comes up a lot in this video. I screw up a lot. But that's okay. And we're going to go over that in a minute too. but I'm just using this gold paint pen. It's really easy to just hit the raised areas with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just run over it. And all you have to do with these paint pens is they have, kind of retractable or spring-loaded tips.
Yeah, you gotta go to the little zit.
Yeah, well, this is fantastic radio. When you run out of paint on your tip, you just kind of press it against the surface.
Yeah,
I was also specifically asked how I did the hilt on this guy when I threw up a picture of him earlier, and it's just like this. I did it blurry.
You did it blurry.
No, all I did was
there we go.
All I did was lightly run the paint pen on the hilt. So you'll notice that I didn't even get down into the deepest details of the hilt. I just got it on the high points. There's still black showing up from underneath,
which is a cool look.
And that's it. That's all I did.
Because it's like you would hit it with Nuln oil later on.
I don't think I did.
Well, no, I mean, that's what it would look like since you didn't get the deepest red.
Well, this is a little more defined, but yeah, it's kind of on that vein. And the same thing with these crazy lion things on his shield. I don't know the Japanese story behind Knasty Knight, but I feel like there's something there. He never really felt like a monster to me. And I don't think he was. I think in the show, like, they didn't make him out of putty, I don't think. I thought Rita, like, summoned him somehow. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter, but man, I got some blurry issues here today.
You got some huge.
Guys, I apologize for the blurry issues.
I feel like I've painted like that before. But
kind of keeping my eye on where the pen was going and keeping the model in focus was extremely difficult. So I apologize for my trademark lack of professionalism.
Just so everybody understands, Chris, if he even remotely takes his glasses off, there are bats that see better than you do.
Bats actually have good vision. That's
okay. There are what is really blind?
I don't know. I just said that's a cave slug.
Yes, you are as blind as a cave slug. Sure.
Now that my co-host has called me a cave slug, we're gonna need a new co-host next week.
You just keep trying to replace.
This is like doing the show with Tommy Oliver.
Oh,
this is terrible. Anyway, while we're doing the gold paint pen, this is pretty self-explanatory, pretty straightforward. We're doing here. So while we're working with this gold paint pen here, additional content. Some of you may know we've started a new series called Gamed in 60 Seconds.
Yep.
Where we take board games out of our collection and in 60 seconds or less, even though every video has been longer than 60 seconds, we tell you about the game. I give you. Well, I mean they've only been over in the extent of introducing the game.
Yeah.
As far as actually discussing the game, it's been 60 seconds or less. I like that feature. I really do. I have a lot of games on our shelf. I have a lot of great games on the shelf. We have a lot of great games on the shelf. I want to talk about them all.
50%, man. I own 50%.
Yeah, I need a new co-host. So yeah, I got a lot of those coming up. The Gamed in 60 Seconds. I really like that series. Obviously, Morphin Monday. The painting videos have proven to be far more popular than the game theory videos.
Nobody wants to know what you think.
I still have 3 episodes sitting in my back pocket. We did our Ranger Miser series. You and I sat down and we did a Ranger Miser series. We talked about the Ranger Miser we made for this game to play a random game of Heroes of the Grid, and I'm still sitting on it because I'm deeply afraid nobody's going to want to watch it.
Well, somebody's going to have to watch it come August because we will be meeting Power Rangers.
This is true.
In August.
We can advertise the convention, but I forgot the name of it already. But we're about to do a transitionary moment here, so let's address that because people are here to watch us paint. So let's address that, and let's go into our Evil Sunz Scarlet and our Leadbelcher. I picked the Leadbelcher Silver because it's really dark.
Yeah.
But the Knasty Knight has a red banding on his sword. So I just painted it Evil Sunz Scarlet. I didn't bother with highlights or anything yet. We're going to shade it. We're going to kind of go reverse direction.
Mm-hmm.
But I just painted it red. It's an eye-popping color. It draws the eye's attention, but it's not a huge detail. I mean, you can see it from this angle. We can leave it like this and be fine. I don't leave it like this. I take it a step further. But we've also got our Iron Breaker, or Leadbelcher, which has, I think, called Iron Warriors now.
Yeah.
I think Leadbelcher
for all of us old.
Yeah, I don't know how I still have this jar. I think it's called Iron Warriors now. But anyway, he's got this weird mace, and I just painted the head of the mace, or the flail, this Leadbelcher, and then I painted the sword, this Leadbelcher.
Nice.
So really, really simple. But yeah, as Bree mentioned, we are going to a Power Rangers / anime / Funko Pop.
No, it's only Power Rangers and anime because of the crossover that we have between a lot of Power Ranger actors who also then became voice actors for other things.
So we were at
Johnny Young Bosch has done some anime.
Yep. Well, Johnny Young Bosch is going to be there.
Yep.
So we were at Central Florida Comic Con.
Yes.
A couple weeks ago.
Great little convention. If anybody in the Central Florida area is looking for a place to go spend some cash and see some people.
It was solid. It wasn't a whole 4 days worth like some bigger conventions could be, but you could do it in a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got our Abaddon Black where we do our base. This has been every single painting video. But what we're doing as well all those areas I screwed up earlier, I just take the Abaddon black and a fine tip brush.
And clean it up?
And I just clean it up.
Look at you.
Just the areas that I went over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not redoing the whole leg.
No.
Just the areas I went over. This is going to blend in perfectly.
I like how you're saying just the areas you went over. Just say it. The areas where you screwed up.
Yeah, the F-up areas.
Yeah, see, now we're going to get flagged.
Well, I don't mark these for kids.
Oh, good. That's great.
Apparently you can mark things for kids. I don't mark anything for kids because I'm afraid there's some kind of level that, I don't know, the FBI is going to show up my door or something. I don't know.
That's legit.
I'm pretty sure you can't say Tommy Oliver sucks in front of kids.
Because they already know.
But anyway, we went to Central Florida Comic Con and we met Paul Schreer and we met Karen Ashley.
Which was awesome.
And both of them were super nice people. Karen Ashley actually invited us to her con in Atlanta, and she gave us some tickets.
Yes, free weekend passes. Woohoo!
It has absolutely nothing to do with my rising YouTube stardom. So anyway, Evil Sunz Scarlet, I screwed up right here. I was trying to do the eyes, and man, I screwed up.
You got drunk on that.
I did. It's great. There's a nice trick you can do when you screw up like that, and you saw I just did it really, really quickly. If the paint is still wet, like if you just screwed up, I tend to keep a second brush near me at all times. And if you screw up like that, drop your first brush with the paint on it, take your second one that's clean, dip it in clean water, and put it right on the spot where the paint you screwed up is.
There you go.
If it's still wet enough, you'll soak up that paint and you won't have to touch up. You should see I pulled out the black here because it was already too dry. But it works. I swear it works. I did it on a Star Wars fig the other day.
I've done it.
But anyway, so Karen Ashley gave us these tickets. It has nothing to do with our tremendous YouTube stardom, which doesn't.
It does not.
It doesn't exist.
She did not. It mostly had to do with our really cute kids.
Probably. I think she was probably giving them out to a lot of people because they're building hype for this con. It's in Atlanta. It's running from August 27th to the 29th.
I think so, yes.
It's like a Friday through Sunday. So we're actually going to go up there at the end of August. We're going to take our 6-year-old, who'll be a 7-year-old, but we're going to go up there. If any of you can make it up there, we'll be in Atlanta. Feel free to, say hi to us or flip us the bird.
I mean, that's,
Either way is totally fine. But we're very excited about that. I'm excited about adding some other features to the channel, kind of going back to what we were talking about there.
Yes.
I don't know exactly what. I want to do more battle reports. I want to do more Star Wars Legion battle reports. I would like to do some Heroes of the Grid playthroughs. I would like to do that. I think there might be a few people interested in that.
It might be cool to actually, once you finally get up the courage to put up the Ranger Miser, actually show us doing a Ranger Miser game.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with it.
I called you out.
I'm not okay with that. So anyway, now that our Leadbelcher and whatnot is done, now I think I went back to the Leadbelcher. I'm just doing a second coat.
Yeah.
I'm just doing a second coat here.
With some of the metallics, guys, it sometimes is nice to do 2 coats just because you do get a better coverage.
Well, I've found that with the Leadbelcher is an older paint at this point too, so it doesnn't cover as much. But I do the 2 coats with the Abaddon black down here too.
Well, you have to.
That way it's nice and smooth. I did some of my earlier ones with one really, really thick coat that I didn't water down that much, and there's some gloppiness on the base. But when you do it with the heavy water and do 2 or 3 coats, it's pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth. You'll like it in the end. I have considered opening up a Discord.
You and your Discord.
I do. I have a Discord. I have a local hobby group Discord that is not as active as it could be because most of our local hobby group is still in hiding because of all the time we didn't spend together thanks to COVID.
Yes.
But that's what's going on there. I thought about opening up the link to that Discord to see if anybody who watches these videos might want to join it and interact with us more regularly. Because I think you're on the Discord, aren't you?
Occasionally.
This is responsible marriage. Yeah. By the way, we're married. I don't think we've ever said that. Anyway,
you literally said my wife. My wife.
My other wife. We got the Nuln oil shade. That's going on the banding on the hilt to kind of bring out the darkest colors. And we're also doing it on the sword itself to add a little bit of layer or a little bit of depth to the sword. We could go back over this with multiple shades, but we're not going to. We're just going to do the one wash because it's nice and easy. And the one wash on the banding on the sword works out perfectly as well because it gets down in those recesses, so you still have the red, but you see a little bit of the definition, which is what we're going for. And Knasty Knight does not have much else to him. He's a very, very simple miniature. So there's not going to be a whole lot left to do with him, but we're going to let this dry and hit a couple other little things as well with our Knasty Knight, who's 1K away from having a very problematic name, I might add.
You don't. Why? You make that joke every time.
And it never stops being funny. So anyway, we've got our Ember Orange P3 paint, which is fantastic. Yeah. This is a great color. I used this color for two reasons. One, my darker orange was A, too dark, and two, too dried up. So I couldn't really use it anymore. My only problem with these P3 paints is they tend to glump up on the edges and then they don't close properly. And even cleaning them off, they don't seem to ever close right again after it happens.
Yeah, their lids on the P3s are not great.
They're terrible. But anyway, I did 2 coats here. I did 2 coats of this. But speaking of opening up that Discord, I want to do that to maybe have an opportunity to start arranging some internet-based Heroes of the Good games with people who watch the channel. There's a whole Discord group that does that does the virtual games.
Yeah.
But I'd like it specifically to be with the people who have been interacting us within the channel. We have a couple of common commentators. Commentators? That's not a word. A couple commenters who...
Actually, commentators is a word.
But not in what I was trying to say. We have a group of commenters who show up over and over again. And I'd love the opportunity to be, say, hey, let's play a game with these people. We can set up a camera. We can do a Discord chat. It'll be really cool.
Okay.
But we basically run out of time for me to rant about other cool stuff I want to do on the channel.
Yeah, you still have
But I still want to go into the other. I want to get into other war games. How to take your Heroes of the Grid and let it expand you into other war games. I actually want to talk about a RPG system eventually. I want to talk about XDM because this was kind of brought to my attention recently. You could take your Heroes of the Grid figures and play a Power Rangers RPG in XDM without buying anything special but the XDM core book.
And the XDM book is
I know there's a Power Rangers RPG on the way, but the XDM book is like $12 or whatever it was. And you can do it right out of that book with imagination and some good people. You don't need to change much at all. So I want to talk about that in a future episode.
Oh my god, I want to do that now.
I know, it's going to be great. I also want to do, like I said, I want to do more Star Wars Legion. I want to do intros to wargaming, intros to the board gaming. We have a lot to go on this channel. We really do. But anyway, Knasty Knight is about wrapped up. Very, very simple fig. The big thing I wanted to show you in this video was whipping out the paint pen and saying, hey, look, we can paint our miniatures with something other than a brush and a paint. And it works really well.
And it becomes one, like, altogether. It is a brush and a paint.
It is. Together. It is. Well, you can do it with a Sharpie. We said that earlier.
Yep.
You can get a silver or a copper or a gold or a bronze.
Paint Sharpie.
No, you can do it with a regular one. I've done it.
Oh, have you? Oh,
I've done it with a regular one. You can just do it with a Sharpie. Sometimes you got to do a couple more coats, but it works out just fine. You just want some fine tips for what you do.
There you go. And you get a fine-looking young man like this.
So Knasty Knight's
fine-looking young man.
I think this might be, other than the... No, we didn't even do these Rangers. I think this might be, other than the putties, the first figures we've done from the core box of the game.
Oh.
Because I painted all my Mighty Morphin Rangers before I decided to start making videos.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't painted Rita yet. Right. I painted Pudgy Pig before we started making videos.
Yeah.
I think this is the first thing out of the core box that I painted on the channel.
Well, there you go.
So that's something. That's history. We can all be excited about that.
Woot.
I have a really long ending here.
You do. I mean, this is a...
My analytics are going to be terrible for this. People are going to have clicked off by this, and they're like, 10% of the people watched all the way to the end of your video. I'm going to go, yeah, well, you know what? At those 10%, they're going to be my point of pride. In fact, I'm going to encourage people right now, because this is the point where most people click off, and some people click back at the very end. Guys, I'm going to preview something right now that I was going to preview for a while. When we get to 100 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway.
Ooh!
I'm not saying what it is, but I'm actually going to do a giveaway.
Ooh.
But see, I snuck that in where there's like 10 seconds on the other end of it. So somebody just clicking the end is not even going to notice that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's all we have to say tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us tonight on Morphin Monday. Like, subscribe, hit the bell button for notifications, and we will see you next week where we tackle Terror Toad with crappy craft paints.
Ooh, this is going to be fun.
Good night.
Night.